if everybody just does their part, give a little something of yourself, whether it's just $1. Remember, 1,000 people give $1. Well, that's 1,000 extra dollars they didn't have to help families. And there's so many people affected, and just the magnitude of this is just staggering. And it will be in the trillions of dollars of damage for people to recover. And some people will never have back what they had. Some people had no house insurance, so hopefully there'll be some private funds set up, etc. But right now, they're just trying to keep people warm, trying to keep people's medication. One disturbing picture that's trending on Twitter is a poor lady who contacted a loved one in a nursing home, and they weren't evacuated. And you could see these old people on couches submerged in water. The nursing home was told not to evacuate ahead of the floods. So they should have, but they didn't. They were eventually air-vac'd out, but thanks to Twitter, thanks for the pictures that came out that reached people, because nobody else locally thought enough to bring any emergency personnel or the management. Now, that's under investigation, but because of a woman in Florida that has a mother there in this nursing home in Texas, help was sent and helicoptered all the senior citizens out. Several of them actually had to be transported for medical emergency because of the flood, and being submerged underwater caused a lot of problems. So this has really hurt a lot of people and has caused some deaths already. 5 so far, according to emergency management. They think that number, unfortunately, is going to go up. And they usually always do during catastrophic things where people end up dead and they don't know it until they go into houses and stuff like that. And they think that's going to be the case. One thing interesting that I learned, it makes sense, but some people have to go to higher ground. So if you're in a house, if this ever happens, God forbid, and you're in an area and you have an attic in your place and you're able to make it to the highest place in your house, they say do not go in the attic without an axe. Because if you have to, if you can't get out of the attic, you're gonna drown. But if you can axe yourself out, which a lot of people did, they stood on their roofs, their rooftops, to actually get help from boats coming in to rescue them. So always have an axe. Great idea. So add that to your emergency preparation kit, to have an axe. And let me ask you, good question. If you had to evacuate and you had 5 minutes to really get out of Dodge before you're overtaken by water, what would you take? What would you take? When I was in California doing a radio gig many years ago, they had something that, I don't know if they still call it this. Maybe they do. Maybe somebody from California can tell me. But it's called a bug-out bag. That's what they called it, at least in Northern California. And what is that? If an earthquake should happen, something that you have that's already in your car, already someplace that has, extra medication, has food, has radio, has some clothing, has a flashlight, first aid kit, things that you'll need for an emergency if you have to evacuate, some money, actually just everything that you would need. I think it's a brilliant idea. Maybe you have a copy of a credit card. Sometimes you can request the double copy. You just have it in that bag. You know where it is. Sometimes you're just not given enough time to do it when that water is coming in so fast, and such is the case. And a lot of these counties where they were overtaken so quickly, where they just could not go back in. So that's some good thought to have something like that in your house, in your car, something where you know where it is. Everybody in your family knows that would be the first thing that you could grab. Might have some emergency phone numbers written in a book. Maybe it has one of those prepaid cell phones. And maybe you can't get access to your cell phone right away. Maybe it's not charged. But having, redundancy, having some emergency stuff, some emergency cash or a credit card, something that you can use to get out of Dodge and do it very, very quickly. Because some folks, they did not have the option even gathering a single thing. They just had their life. What's the most important thing is to rescue your pet, your loved ones, get out, and then all the other stuff, well, you'll have to say goodbye to it. But the secret to living is definitely to heed warnings. Pay attention, obviously, to the reports that come in. And I'll tell you what, I live in Florida. We could be dealing with something like this, this year still. We're still in the thick of hurricane season, so you never know. And wherever you're listening, make sure you pay attention to the weather and what's going on, and just have some kind of contingency plan just ready, just in case something should happen. Please do what you can today by donating to the American Red Cross to help the families throughout Texas that could use your help in a big way. redcross.org is where you can make that donation online 24 hours a day. If you don't have internet access, you can request the Red Cross phone number, and you can get that very, very quickly too. Just ask. It's in the yellow. Do some people still have the yellow pages? Yeah, some areas actually still hand out those phone books, but they do have it online. Some people I know don't have internet access, but try to get to the Red Cross today, or look up for a chapter near you. They'll make sure your money gets there. I am Keith Allen, for the people. All the best. May God bless.